Hello everyone. Today in this episode I am going to discuss algebra for class 7. The chapter I am going to discuss is fundamental concept. So to begin with the fundamental concept we need to learn two terms. What is constant and what is variable. Variables, constants and variables. In arithmetic, we come across the number 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. All these have the fixed values. Constant means fixed values. Fixed values, so they are called constant in algebra. And what are the variables? X, y, x square y. That means x may take any value. X might take 1, x is equal to 1, or x is equal to 2, or x is equal to 3 and so on. So variables means which may take any value. So they are called variables. Now few things before I move forward with this discussion. We need to learn about the constant and the variable. Combination of two constants. Suppose if I say 2 plus 3, it is always a constant. 2 minus 3 is a constant. 5 by 2 is a constant. 5 into 2 is a constant. That means if we apply a combination of 2 or more than 2 constant is always a constant. Again I repeat, a combination of 2 or more than 2 constant is always a constant. X square y, x and y are the variable. Combination x square y means x into y. So we can say that a combination of 2 or more variable is always a variable. So first point, combination of 2 or more constant is a constant. Constant, same way, similarly we can say a combination of 2 or more variable, combination of 2 or more variable is a variable. Now if I mix 2, suppose if I write 6 plus x, so it is a combination of constant and variable. So this is always a variable. This is always a variable. Combination of, so third point we will learn that combination of constant and variable is a variable. Combination of constant and variable is a variable. Now 6 plus x, we called it as a term. Suppose if I say a term is a number or a variable. A term is a number or a variable or a constant of numbers and variable. Suppose Suppose if I write 3x square, so it is a combination of numbers and variable, so we called it as a term. Clear? So again I recap the thing: constant which have a fixed values, variable which may take any value. Combination of any two constant is always a constant. Combination of two or more variable is a variable. And combination of constant and variable is always a variable. Like 3x square. 3x square, it is a combination of constant and variable, so it is a variable. Am I clear with the first concept, that constant and variable? Now next we learn what is an algebraic expression. Algebraic expression, it is a collection of one or more terms separated by plus or minus. It is a collection of one or more term. It might be one, it might be more than one, separated by plus or minus sign. We will not consider multiplication and division, because multiplication and division does not separate the terms. For example, if I say 3x, 3 multiplied by x, or if I say 3 by y, it is 3 divided by y, so it is a single term. It is a single term. Now if I write 6 plus x, or if I write 3x square plus 5, now see, 6 and x are two terms separated by plus. 3x square plus 5. 3x square is one term, 5 is another term separated by plus. Suppose if I write a square minus 2ab plus b square. So here a square is one term, 2ab is another term, b square is another term separated by minus and plus. So we only need to consider plus and minus sign, because plus sign and minus sign separate the terms. Like I have given here example: 6 plus x, 3x square plus 5, a square minus 2ab plus b square, all there. Now if I count 1, 2, so there are two terms here. 1, 2, two terms here. 1, 2, 3, three terms here. Three terms here. So now if I try to connect with this sign, how many signs are there? Only one sign, plus sign. So number of terms is 2. Only one sign, number of terms is 2. Two sign, number of terms is 3. That means number of times plus or minus appear, total number of term is plus 1 from that number. Suppose if I say 4x square plus 5xy plus 6y square plus 9. 1, 2, 3. 3 plus sign. So total number of term is 4 terms. If I write a cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square minus b cube. 1, 2, 3. So total number of terms is 4. What I am doing? I am counting the number of plus sign and minus sign appears in the algebraic expression and adding 1 to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, 4 terms. And the signs are 1, 2, 3. So 3 number of terms is next. 4. We are going to learn classification of algebraic expression. That means how many ways you can classify an algebraic expression. So classification it is based on number of terms. That means how many terms are there in an algebraic expression. Then based on that number of terms, we classify our algebraic expression. Like first one we called monomial. Monomial means if the algebraic expression contains only one term. If an algebraic expression contains only one term, then we called it as a monomial. Like 3x square, there is no plus sign or minus sign, so this is a monomial. 5 by y, monomial. Minus 6xy, only one term, monomial. Second is binomial, bicycle, 2. Same, binomial means if a algebraic expression contains two terms, then we called it as a binomial. For example, 3x minus 4y, 3x minus 4y, or 6x square minus 9, two terms, 5x plus 7, all are examples of binomial. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, number of times plus or minus appear is 1, so number of terms is 2 plus 1. Number of times plus or minus appear 1, so number of terms is 2. Same way 5x plus 7. Trinomial. Trinomial means if a algebraic expression has three terms. If an algebraic expression has three terms, then we call it as a trinomial. Like ax square plus 2hxy plus by square. If I write x cube plus 5x plus 7, three terms, 1, 2, 3, trinomial. That means if it is a one term, we call it as a monomial. Binomial has two terms, trinomial has three terms. Then we called it as a multinomial. What is multinomial? Has more than three terms. Multinomial means has more than three terms. This term separate these two. Here three terms and more than three terms. Three terms like a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 terms, more than 3 terms. So it is a multinomial. Like x to the power 4 plus 5x cube plus 2x square plus x plus 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. So it is a multinomial. And generally we called it as a polynomial. What is polynomial? So we define the polynomial as has two or more than two terms. Has two or more than two terms. Has two or more than two terms. So binomial, it is a kind of a polynomial. You may call binomial as also as a polynomial. Trinomial, it is also a kind of polynomial. Multinomial is also a kind of polynomial. So polynomial means has two or more than two terms. We called it as a polynomial. So again, just recap the terms. Monomial, one term. Binomial, two terms. Trinomial, three terms. Multinomial has more than three terms, and polynomial has two or more than two terms. Then we call it as a polynomial. Am I clear to everyone? We need to know what is coefficient. Coefficient means in a monomial, any factor or group of factors of a term is called coefficient. Now what is factor? Suppose if I say 2ay, 2ay, it is a product of constant and variable. So 2a and y are the factors of 2ay. Clear? So in a monomial, any factor or group of factors of a term. Suppose a term is given as 2ay. Now if the question is what is the coefficient of y? What is the coefficient of y? Y, hide this y. What is the term left here? 2a. So we say coefficient of y is 2a. Suppose if I write 3x square y, and if I ask what is the coefficient of x square. Now if I hide x square, what is the term left? 3y. So coefficient of x square is 3y. If I write x only and I ask what is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x. If I hide x, nothing is there? No. X can be written as 1 into x. So we say coefficient of x means if I hide x, we get 1. So coefficient of x is 1. If I write minus x, then minus x can be written as minus 1 into x. So coefficient of x is coefficient of x is equal to minus 1. So coefficient, make it very simple. Whatever the coefficient is asked, suppose if I ask what is the coefficient of z here, what you need to do? Hide this term. What is the term left here? 5x square. So coefficient of z is 5x square y. Coefficient of z is equal to 5x square. Now, next very important topic, what is degree of polynomial? Degree of polynomial means degree of its highest degree term. Now, let me explain what is the meaning of this statement, degree of its highest degree term. I am writing here x square plus 2xy plus y square. A cube minus 3a square b plus 3b. If I am writing here 5x to the power 10. Now there are three terms here, x square, 2xy, y square. This term degree is 2. This term degree is 1 plus 1, 2. This term degree is 2. So degree of this polynomial is 2. So degree of this polynomial is 2. Degree 3, plus 1. A square b. B means b to the power 1. So we add those two exponents. 2 plus 1, 3. Here b only, that means 1. 3, 3, 1. Highest 3, so degree is 3. 5x to the power 10. 10 single term is there, so degree is 10. Let us take another example. Suppose if I say p cube q square minus p square q plus 5pq plus 9. 3 plus 2, 5. 2 q. Q means q to the power 1. So 3. 1 plus 1, 2, 0. No variable is there. So constant, that means degree is 0. 5, 3, 2, 0. Now see, one thing again I believe we are counting the sum of the exponent. If more than one variable are involved, then we are counting the sum of the exponent to decide the degree of individual term. Once we decide the degree of individual term, so highest degree is 5. So degree of this polynomial is 5. X square y z. X square y z. Degree is x square, that means 2, y, that means y to the power 1, z, that means z to the power 1. So count 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, 4. So degree is 4. Clear? So degree, we are counting the exponent, sum of the exponent in case of more than one variable to decide the degree of individual term, and the highest degree will be termed as degree of the polynomial. That's why we are writing what is the degree of polynomial. It is the degree of its highest degree term. Degree of its highest degree term. We are going to learn very important topic, what is like and unlike term. To explain this, I am writing some examples. 2xy, 2xy square, 3yx, 5x square y, and for example 6y square. What is like term and unlike term? To find out the like and unlike term, we look at the variables. Here variables are x, y. X is having degree 1, y is having degree 1. Now look for the similar term, yx. X to the power 1, y to the power 1. So these two terms are like terms. These two terms are like terms. Now, sometimes you get confused. xy, yx different. No, xy and yx are same because arithmetic or algebra follow the commutative rule. That means 2 into 3 is equal to 3 into 2. Both are equal to 6. So 2 into 3 is equal to 3 into 2. Same way, x into y is equal to y into x. So these two are like term. Now if I find like term of this, x power is 1, y power is 2. See here, x power is 1, y power is 2. So these two are like terms. 5x square y. There is no term having x power 2, y power 1. So this is unlike term. Unlike term. That means to identify, because in algebra when we are going to learn addition and subtraction, we apply on like terms. Clear? Addition is only possible between the like term, not between the unlike terms. So these two are like terms, these two are like terms, and this is unlike term. Clear? That means you need to look at the variables. If the variables are same with the same corresponding degree, suppose I'll take another example, a square b, a square b square, b square. See, a square, here a square is there, but here b is not associated, b power 1, b power 2, here b square only. So all these are unlike terms. All these are unlike terms. Like terms are like 5a square, 7a square. These are like terms. 7a square b minus 5a square b. These are the like terms. We look at the variable. Don't go for the sign. Here sign is plus 7a square b. Here minus 5. This doesn't mean anything. To decide like or unlike terms. So these are the examples of like terms. These are the examples of like terms. Let us discuss some problems. Separate constant terms and variable terms from the following. Constant terms and variable terms from the following. Constant, just a recap, what is constant? Fixed value. First. Second, what are the things we learned about the constant and variable? Combination of constant with constant is a constant. Combination of constant with variable is variable. 8. It is a constant. So I am writing C here. X, variable. It is a variable. 6xy. It is a combination of constant and variable. And combination, it is a combination of constant and variable. So this is variable. Clear? 6 plus x. It is a combination of constant and variable. 6 plus x. So it is a variable. So this is also a variable. 5 minus 5x y square. Combination of constant and variable. So it is a variable. 32z by xy. Same. It is a combination of constant and variable. So this is again a variable. Y square by 3x. It is a combination of constant and variable. So it is also a variable. So we write, how you write this? You write constant. Only we have one constant as 8, and variable you write down all the terms. In this sum, what is the instruction given? For each expression, state whether it is a monomial, binomial or trinomial. We need to classify this expression whether it is a monomial if it is in one term, binomial if it is a two term, trinomial if it has three terms. 2x divided by 15. 2x divided by 15. So this can be written as 2x by 15. Now see, there is no plus or minus sign which separate the term. So it is an example of monomial. Ax plus 9. Ax plus 9. See here plus sign appear which separate ax and 9. If you recall, I already mentioned plus and minus sign only separate the terms, not multiply or divide. So one plus sign appear. So 1 and 2. Here two terms are ax and 9. So it is an example of binomial. 3x square multiplied by 5x. 3x square multiplied by 5x. Is there any plus or minus sign is there? No. So it is an example of monomial. 3p into q divided by z. So if I write this term, so we can write it as 3pq. 3p multiplied by q can be written as pq divided by z. So it is an example of monomial. 12z divided by 5x plus 4. So this can be written as 12z divided by 5x plus 4. Now see here one plus sign appears and plus sign separate two terms 1 and 2. So two terms means it is an binomial. There is only one negative sign. So this a cube is one term, 3a square b into c is another term. So it is an example of binomial. Now let us discuss another problem. Write the coefficient of xy in minus 3xy. So if you remember how to find out the coefficient, what I told you, just hide the term xy. We have to find out the coefficient of xy in minus 3xy. So if I hide my xy, so what is the term left here? Minus 3a. So coefficient of xy in minus 3xy is minus 3a. Same way, coefficient of z square in p square yz square. So if I hide this z square, forget about this z square, what is the term left here? P square y. So the coefficient of z square in p square yz is p square y. What is the coefficient of mn in minus mn? Because minus mn we can write it as minus 1 into mn. Now hide this mn. What is the term left here? Minus 1. So coefficient of mn in minus mn is minus 1. 15 in minus 15p square. If I hide this 15, so what is the term left? Minus p square. So coefficient of 15 in minus 15p square is equal to minus p square. So coefficient, finding the coefficient is very easy. Whatever the term you need to find, or coefficient we need to find, hide the term whose coefficient is need to be, we have to find. Discuss the next problem. For each of the following monomials, see all the expression given here contains only one term. So all are the monomial. We need to write its degree. Y. That means y to the power 1. So degree is 1. X square y. Y means y to the power 1. So 2 plus 1, degree is 3. X, y square z. X can be written as x to the power 1, y square, z to the power 1. 1 plus 2 plus 1. 1 plus 2, 3 plus 1, 4. 2 plus 3, 5. Same way, try these two sums. So if you try, match your answer. 3 plus 4, 7. 3 plus 4, p square, q cube, r to the power 4. 2 plus 3 plus 4, 2 plus 3, 5. 5 plus 4, 9. So degree is 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, next sum 9. For each of the following polynomial, write its degree. So once, if you remember, degree of a polynomial means degree of its highest degree term. Now to find out the degree of this polynomial, we need to decide, we need to count the degree of individual term. 3y cube, degree is 3. X square y square, degree is 2 plus 2, 4. X, degree is 1. Here highest number appears is 4. So degree of given polynomial is equal to 4. Highest number, degree of its highest degree term. Same way, if you count 3 plus 2, degree is 5. Degree of this term is 5. 2 plus 5, degree of this term is 7. 4 plus 4, degree of this term is 8. So degree of its highest degree term, so highest degree term is 8. So degree of the polynomial is 8. 7, variable absent, so degree 0. Y can be written as y to the power 1. 2 plus 1, 3. Y square. 0, 3, 2. Highest is 3. So degree is equal to 3. Y square z. So z can be written as z to the power 1. So 2 plus 1, 3. 1 plus 3, 4. Y to the power 1. And z is given as z cube. So 1 plus 3, 4. Highest degree is 4. So degree of the polynomial is is 4. Let us discuss the next problem. We need to group the like terms together. Like terms together. So like term means literal with the same degree. X square and x square. Same variable with the same degree. So like terms are 9x square comma minus 3x square and x square. These are the set of like terms. Like terms xy, degree of x 1, y 1 and minus 2xy. These two are the like terms. Xy comma minus 2xy are the like terms. Same way AB, means a to the power 1, b to the power 1 minus 3ab, a to the power 1, b to the power 1. Is any AB term is there? No. A square B, A square B, A square B. So here we can say AB and minus 3AB are like terms, and minus A square B, 5A square B and minus 8A square B are the like terms. So minus A square B, 5A square B and minus 8A square B are the like terms. Same way, 7P minus 2P and 3P are the like terms. PQ, PQ, these two are the like terms. So 7P minus 2P and 3P, these three are like terms, and 8PQ minus 5PQ are the
Let us
like
discuss
terms.
the numerical coefficient. What is the numerical coefficient?
That is the constant associate with a term. Constant associate with a monomial. Why? Y means numerical is 1, because y can be written as 1 into y. So here constant is 1. So constant numerical coefficient we may call it as a constant. Minus y. So minus y can be written as minus 1 into y. So numerical coefficient minus 1. Numerical coefficient 2. Numerical coefficient minus 8. Numerical coefficient 3. See, I am just picking out the numbers or the constant associated with the given polynomial. So they are called as a numerical coefficient.